Yeah. Fuck. I didn't say.
Nothing at all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of On It. We are here. You got me, you got Devin. We got so much good stuff to talk about. We don't even have to spend a second talking about the combine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the NBA. Dang it.
No, not well. There's not. I don't have
I'm-
anything for the NBA
Wait,
today.
has anything
That's
happened in
what
the
I'm saying.
combine
Like
yet?
nothing.
Isn't it all like defensive players right now?
It's just been games being played, bro. Like Jamal Murray got hurt a day or two ago. That's the biggest
Cool.
thing I've noticed or seen. A lot of people getting released. Some that we've called, like apparently Aaron
Yes.
Jones is looking to possibly get released. Logan Thomas, and then
Did he get released?
Logan Thomas is set to be released. Yeah,
Sick. We both said MVS got released.
MVS, yes, he got released. So that
I called
means,
for that one.
but that means they got something cooking. Which
Oh,
kinda
yeah, no, for
scares
sure.
me. That scares the shit.
But
out
at
of
the
me.
same time, I looked up his stats. Bro had 300 yards and a touchdown. And he's making 12.
Well, there's another Chiefs receiver who doesn't have the greatest stats, but
Sure.
for some reason we talk about him. So let's get right into that. That's the first thing we get into. Great
KT?
Great way to get into this. No, not KT. So have you seen the drama going on with Mecole Hardman? Okay.
I haven't been on the internet.
Go ahead and look up Mecole Hardman, and then while you do that, I'm a just give you the scoop. So the NFL opens an investigation on Kansas City for tampering after Mecole says he was talking to Kansas City before being traded during the Pivot podcast. He was on that podcast.
Wait, what?
So he was on the Pivot, the podcast.
What's
and
that?
It's the one with like Ryan Clark and
Oh, yeah, okay, I got you.
Okay, so he's talking to them, and he's talking about when he was at the Jets, and he was like, "Bro, I was calling the OC like trade, come get me, like yada yada," which is I guess enough for the NFL to open up a tampering investigation because you're not allowed to do that. So I mean, look, I'm not. That's not the biggest thing for me or the most like entertaining thing for me. So after that, reports come out that there's also investigations or not investigations on this. So there's an investigation on the tampering, but then there's allegations that Hardman, while with the Jets, was leaking the Jets' game plans to opponents. He shut that down immediately. So, which I guess anybody
shut that down.
Anybody would shut that down.
Sure.
Pretty much.
Why is he in the news so much? This is a lot.
So after this, Thomas Morstead, the punter.
The punter, yeah.
He tweets. Let me see if I have his tweet right here. So
when are they going to release the plans that Taylor Swift is the reason they won the Super Bowl?
So Thomas,
they were ranked 31st by some grading thing.
Who?
The Chiefs, like the team.
Graded by what?
I don't know. They're fucking skilled. They were not a good team.
They were saying the same thing about Tom. Be careful getting information from disgruntled former employees. Getting beat out by a rookie free agent after being guaranteed millions of dollars is tough to deal with. Entitlement is a killer of opportunity. You have to earn it every year. So
wait,
this is the Jets punter talking about Mecole Hardman.
Okay.
Because he was. So here's my thing.
I didn't know Mecole Hardman was on the Jets.
He was on the Jets. He played for Kansas City. Then he was on the Jets, and then he got.
I only knew him as a Chief.
He got traded back to Kansas City. Now here's my
mid-season.
Yeah. Now here's my thing about Hardman. It's like I fully understand why like you're a Jet. It's your first year as a Jet, and like I could see how you came to the conclusion that you want to get out of there as soon as possible. I get that because the only reason you were there tore his Achilles the first play
exactly
of the game of the entire season. So
Mecole Hardman had one catch for 6 yards as a Jet.
Apparently after that Aaron Rodgers, which we knew there was drama and shit going on in the Jets locker room after that, but apparently it was bad enough for him to just to be calling teams and saying, "Come get me." Now he made that comment on
just being
the
like,
podcast.
"Yo, fuck us up, we suck."
So he's not thinking just talking on a podcast like, yo, hey, come get me. Saying that he said that while being a Jet. Look,
You really can't do that.
that Devin, you can't. If you're a commander, you can't call Seattle and say trade me. Like, can y'all please trade me? That's what
But
tampering
don't agents
is.
talk?
Yeah, that's what an agent's
So it's the
for.
same thing.
That's what an agent's for. See, I'm not saying like, oh, like I'm all against him and oh
Yeah,
he's a bad
sure.
person. But
But
what I'm
you're
saying is
going by based off of what the rules are.
that's what the
You
rules
can't do
are,
it.
and all
Yeah.
these allegations on you. Now here's the thing: sure you got 3 rings, bro. You caught the game-winning Super Bowl. Now you also played with Patrick Mahomes and for the Chiefs. You're pretty much your entire career.
Yeah, outside of 5 games.
You've never put up. I mean, what you're a mid-tier 600-yard, 700
Yeah, I
yard
think
guy
it's
at
600
best.
yards, which, like, for a second I was like, oh, it was Tyreek maybe or whatever, and then it's like, no, it's
No,
not.
it's like you're not.
It's not
He's
that good.
not that good. So to be a free
But he's
agent,
always a name brought up, like because the Chiefs are just always talked about. Mecole's like just a name.
but to be a free agent
But yeah.
right now,
Oh,
and
he is.
there's
Oh, you're
rumors
being
about you
investigated for being a
for
horrible
tampering,
teammate,
and there's rumors about you leaking game
leaking
plans.
plans. Yeah, no.
It's like you're gonna have to hope that whoever wants you is confident enough that they're gonna be.
And this all came out because of he was talking on a podcast,
Yeah.
and they released it. It's not a live podcast.
You see what happens, Devin? You see what
Ryan
happens?
Ryan Clark didn't go, hey,
It was such an offhand comment that I don't know how serious anybody took it until like, like it was one of those things where like it took a while for someone to be like, wait a second,
you were talking to him.
wait a second, but because he was more just
Wait, so Ken Lamar talked to? I mean, I guess his mom's his agent, so
there you go, there you know, there. That's how you can get around that. But he's getting allegations about leaking game plans. The NFL already has an open investigation on Kansas City for see it's on Kansas City for tampering. It's not just
well,
on
it
him.
should
It's
be
on Kansas City.
on the NFL for tampering the fucking league.
Okay, can we cut that fucking bullshit
No,
script shit out? I'm so
no.
done talking about that. If
Well,
we
it's
we might
true
as well be a movie podcast and just talk about movies if we want to talk about things that were scripted.
because that's what the NFL is.
That's
It's a
what we might as
fake
well
world
do.
of movies
But
where they go, oh, why would they put their bodies on the line just to lose? Because they don't know what's happening.
the NFL, I'm just saying, you're a free agent. You might potentially have 2 teams that are already a definite no on your one that's already a definite no. But the Chiefs, they might not want to fuck around and deal with you either. If
The Chiefs are not going to re-sign it.
that's the thing. But they already cut MVS. There no way Kadarius Toney is going to be a Chief next season. Mecole Hardman. I mean, were they just going to flush out the entire wide receiver room?
They got Rushy.
They're just going to
That might be it.
They're going to sign Mike Evans. That's what's going to happen.
That's what it looks like.
That's what's going to happen. But moving on from Mecole and the Jets and I guess all the shit he was getting into.
Who's the highest paid wide receiver ever? Was it
highest paid wide receiver
Devontae?
ever? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because I'm trying to think of like what Mike could get.
Mike, he was set to get. I can't even remember what I look up what he was because there's a projection on what he was set to get. But yeah, Mike Evans is definitely. I don't know. I'm definitely leaning towards Kansas City at this point. I don't like that at all. But you brought up Devontae Adams.
Tyreek got 30. Devontae got 28. I think Mike could get 20.
We were talking about we were talking about the Raiders. We were talking about Devontae Adams and if he was even going to be a Raider. And they came out and said that they're keeping him and he's not. He's going to be a Raider.
No, the Raiders are great at holding on to the one thing they have and never doing anything with it.
But if you are keeping Devontae Adams, if you're keeping a premier wide receiver in this league that has only so many prime years left, you gotta have some type of plan. Yeah, there's got to be some plan that they got to be brainstorming something.
Well, their plan is just as good as Mark Davis's haircut. So I don't know if
their
they're gonna.
two biggest problems are the two biggest problems you don't want to have, which is their quarterback and their defense. Because when you look at their
Yeah.
defense, right, it's a bunch of nobodies in that Max Crosby.
Yep.
When you look at the quarterback room, it's Jimmy G, who they're set to release.
He's suspended the first 2 games,
And
and then
are they making a move for a quarterback? Are they trading down?
they probably will.
Are they
I
signing
mean,
a free agent? Are they rocking with Aiden O'Connell? I mean, what does that look like?
there's nothing that anyone's. I mean, outside of like a little bit of decent play, like he's not the worst quarterback ever, but in no way, shape, or form is he a good high level quarterback that is worth Devontae Adams.
I mean, like you got good teams. Like last week we talked about, or last episode we talked about like Philly and if they were screwed. And
Yeah.
there were holes that could be plugged that even if you left some unplugged, there was enough talent. There's enough talent on, let's say, like we're about to talk about the Bills. There's enough talent on the Bills for some.
Are the Bills screwed?
Are the Bills screwed? That's a good question. Are the Bills screwed? Do you think the Bills are screwed? The only reason I wrote that down is because last episode you were like, "Shit, are the Bills screwed?" Because I was, we were talking
Did I
about
say
Philly. You made a comment like, "Shit, the Bills." And after you said that, I went and did a little bit of research, and I saw that the Bills might be screwed because the first thing I saw was good old Von Miller, who got
Well,
3.
you brought up. I think I brought it up when you brought up Naheem Hines.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because
Who?
Hines, like, I think we say cut because
Well,
there's
he
no
needs
point.
to be cut for sure.
Yeah, but Vaughn is
23,
making what?
23 mil cap hit.
Yeah.
3 total tackles last year. Last season he got
Well,
3
yeah, he
total
was
tackles.
injured the whole year. No,
Yeah, because he's
he's old.
old. That's the thing. Like
Simple.
bro doesn't need to make that much money.
And he's not built like James Harrison.
You got Trey White, or excuse me, Tre'Davious White.
Yes.
He played 10 games in the last 2 years. 16.5 mil cap hit. 5th most.
Bills fans are always talking about how good. Is it
He
Tre'Davious?
was Tre'Davious White, yeah.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White. Yeah, they're always talking about
Um,
how good he was. Yeah,
he's making
and how if he comes back healthy, then he'll take over.
he's making the 5th most on the team, 16.5. He's played 10 games in the last 2 seasons.
That sucks. Who's their other guy? Who's their other Poyer?
You got Jordan Poyer, 32 years old.
Oh, really?
7.5 mil cap hit. And I mean, you could find another safety.
I think Poyer's a kind of voice on that defense. He's not a bad guy to have.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. It's if you have
For 7 mil, that's okay.
Yeah, for 7 over, I'll take that over someone that's played 10 games in the last 2 years and is making the 5th most on the team.
Yeah, I mean, where does Vaughn rank in?
Von Miller, he's 23, which is got to be 3rd. I think it goes Josh, Diggs, Vaughn.
That sucks.
I
mean, even when he did get signed and got the contract, it was a wild contract.
Bro, Vaughn.
I mean, it just wasn't necessary because no one else was going to pay him that much, and if they did, they're fools.
See, my thing with Vaughn is like, I don't know. Like, yes, there was a time where he was dominant, but that was like the same time.
That was 10 years ago
when J.J. Watt was like taking reps at tight end. Like, this is a different world.
Sure.
This is a different world, Devin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
J.J. Watt was scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, like this is a completely different NFL where Von.
It would be like if someone paid Watt $30 million to come play football
right now. Come play
currently.
But you got Dawson Knox, 14.3 mil. He's had he played in 12 games this year. How many yards do you think he got?
You just said 100 something.
186 yards. He got 186 yards in the 12 games he played in. Get bro out of there. So that's to me 4 cut candidates at least.
I mean, why even have a tight end? Like, there's a lot of these teams that like never utilize a tight end or don't run an offense that involves a tight end, and then keep them around and have a decent one.
But do you know what a lot of people are pushing?
Diggs out.
Potentially getting rid of Diggs. He's the 5th highest paid receiver in the league. 27 mil cap hit.
How many? 27?
27 mil. That is his cap hit.
I mean, it's like this weird like it's a very weird relationship in Buffalo that like Diggs is pissed always that Josh isn't good enough and that Josh isn't throwing him the ball. And then you're like, yeah, but how old is he? 31, 32-ish now?
He's oh, wow, why I didn't write his age down, I don't know, but yeah, he's definitely up there.
He's 30.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I mean, for sure, still a good receiver, but not a guy who needs to be causing problems out there.
See, but you got receivers that bitch, and then you got receivers that just don't. And to me, it seems weird because it seems like the receivers that play with worse quarterback talent complain less. But here's the
Yeah,
thing: is
because
it maybe
it's understanding.
like Diggs knows what Josh Allen can do, and we've seen it. It's almost like we've seen it. So if they went on a slump, it's like, bro, we know what they can do. You don't
Yes,
think Diggs is thinking that same thing?
exactly.
And if he's just a little bit more dramatic than Josh, he might show it on his face and show it
And
on the
I
field.
mean, honestly, there's a reason Josh didn't win MVP. Like he led the league in touchdowns and yards, no, at least touchdowns.
Touchdowns, yeah.
But the reason number one is turnovers. Number two, honestly, no one talks about this, but he plays like Lamar did in his first couple of years without Lamar's talent, where Josh is breaking off and trying to run all the time.
See, I have no problem with, and it was weird because I was just thinking about this, like seeing like how some of these quarterbacks are not running 40-yard dashes and stuff. I was just thinking about how like we're at a point in the NFL where like even if you are a pocket passing quarterback, you're gonna have to be
Move.
mobile. Like
Yeah.
there is no, and I'm not to discredit the very limited amount of mobility that someone like Ben Roethlisberger had, but
But
there's no Ben now.
Ben was he was fairly mobile early in his career.
But here's the thing. Think about it though. The closest thing to a Ben Roethlisberger in mobility is what, a Matt Stafford, and his arm. I mean, when we're talking arm talent, I think
Probably.
makes up for the lack of mobility, and he's more mobile
That,
than Ben. And but it's like when
yes.
you're comparing two slow guys and talking about how mobile they are. But I'm
Yeah.
saying like in today's league, that's the type of person that you would have to compare Ben to in terms of mobility because there's nobody even close to him to me in 2023, 2024. I don't see it. Do you? Am I missing out on somebody?
No, I don't see it. But to me, it's like I don't know. I mean, has the game evolved that much where a non-mobile quarterback can still play well and still be great, or is it like do you have to be able to be like? I understand that a lot of the top quarterbacks in the league are very mobile, but compared to older players, but
Not to
is it wrong to go after someone who's maybe not super mobile, or just for Josh to use his arm talent and not have that sort of thought of trying to bust out a fucking 50-yard run every time he
Well, I
plays.
guess not to simplify or make it seem like as simple as this, but I think when it comes to quarterbacks, you could have the mobility of Dak Prescott, but you might
Yeah,
rather have the mobility of Matt Stafford if you could have Stafford's arm. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like I think a lot of quarterbacks, their arm is going to make up for that lack of mobility. But I think every year, maybe like in at least in the last 5, 10 years, somewhere in that area, there's been a pie chart of like how much mobility quarterbacks have or need to have,
Yeah,
and I feel like it goes up every year for the mobility
for
percentage.
sure. But to me, it's like everyone's trying to like find a Lamar Jackson or develop their players into someone who's incredibly mobile. And to me, Lamar and some of these other quarterbacks like a Mahomes or an Allen are sort of anomalies in the world of quarterbacks.
Mm.
And I mean, I think I don't know. Like I don't like I get and I see why it's helpful, but Lamar's had his struggles. Josh has had his struggles. Um,
But that's
it's not always the easiest thing to have. Like I don't know. Like for what 50 years, a quarterback stayed in the fucking pocket.
at the
50
end of the
plus, whatever.
at the end. Well, there was a time where quarterbacks didn't even throw that bitch forward.
Didn't even throw, but
Didn't
for
even
a
throw
long
it.
time, the Super Bowl era, quarterbacks are in the pocket throwing the ball,
But
and it never caused a problem.
see, but that's just the the game, if you're talking about that far back, then yes, it has evolved
But even Tom.
to where, yeah, but you see, here's the
Tom was
thing.
never really mobile, ever.
It,
Shit, did you see him?
it like
Congratulations to Tom Brady.
with Tom. Oh no, are you talking about
His
what?
40 time?
Oh no. What?
No. I mean, I'll bring up the 40. His 46-year-old 40 time is faster than his 22-year-old 40 time.
Oh.
But if you're talking about Giselle, that's a problem, dude.
What about
I mean, because like she was definitely with him long before they got divorced.
So she was with him. So she was.
I mean,
Wait, now
jujitsu. I'm sorry, I've never seen male female jujitsu before.
before we even get into that, is the news that he took her back, or just that she cheated longer than we thought?
There is no news that he's taking her back.
Okay. Well,
She is riding horses with a
well, I
fucking
saw something like Tom
Brazilian
Brady.
man.
I saw
He
something
speaks
like.
the same language. They fucking wrestle together.
Well, I
Like
saw something like Tom accepts Giselle's cheating, and I didn't know if that meant like he was taking her back or just he doesn't give a
no,
fuck.
like the allegation was that she was with the jujitsu guy before they got divorced, because there's a picture that she put on her Instagram where they're grappling, and it's like how like
Look, I don't want to spend too much time on Tom Brady's ex-wife, and I do want to get back to the Bills because that is what we were talking about.
yeah,
But all that to say, I think quarterbacks look, mobility is great, but we all know at the end of the day, it's going to come down to arm talent. It was the same
yeah,
thing. We watched the whole. I mean, just look at Lamar's career trajectory. It was,
yeah.
well, you can just run. You could just run. Holy shit, he can throw. Like that's all. That's how Lamar's career is going, and I
But
think
then at the same time, you look at a guy like Justin Fields, who ran for 1,000 yards, but
Mhm.
struggled immensely throwing the football and still does.
But you got a guy like Kyler Murray. You got a guy like
Who
Deshaun
hasn't been
Watson.
healthy in 2 years.
I just
Deshaun Watson
think,
hasn't played in 2.5 years.
but maybe Lamar's just that much better than those quarterbacks we're naming.
No, I know, but it's like, why not go for a guy like J.J. McCarthy? Why are we
See, but
looking
here's
at
the thing: JJ
J.J.?
McCarthy might be mobile enough because at the end of the day, you need
Sure, there are
mobility.
mobile enough quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks, a team wants a quarterback to be mobile for his playmaking and extending a play more than his ability to rush for the most possible yards he can run for. You know, like
Sure.
that's not even. So I do understand, like, yeah, if Josh Allen is forcing himself down the field, yeah,
Yes.
that's a problem. And I think more like injury sake, because I just watched a compilation of Teddy Bridgewater just getting knocked out for like 3 different teams. I forgot that
Yeah.
yeah. Why?
Dude,
What?
he was a walk like
Where were
hit
we
like.
then? Why weren't we like we're so gung
I mean,
ho?
I was covering it inside, like just talking sports with the boys on the bus or whatever. Like, yo, you see
Three
Bridgewater get
three
fucking
different teams he got knocked out
knocked out in
for.
Minnesota. He was outside in the cold Minnesota and just gets his head plowed into the fucking hard frozen turf and
Wait,
then just passes out.
don't Minnesota got a?
No, this is when their roof collapsed
Oh,
under snow and they had to build a new one.
okay. All right. What
Yeah.
were quarterbacks? Okay. Either way, mobility is important. I don't think it'll ever be more
But yeah,
important.
go watch Bridgewater.
I don't think
Bridgewater get
I don't
knocked
think
out.
it'll ever be more important than arm talent, but I think the need for a just some type of mobility is gonna I
Yes.
think that's gonna increase more and more every year.
Yeah. But to me, I mean, Josh has, in my opinion, the best arm in the game. And if he can focus on
He don't got the best arm.
hitting his receivers,
Then he don't
I
got the
mean,
best arm in the game.
A-Rod,
A-Rod or Mahomes,
Matt.
bro.
No, I know, but in
A-Rod,
terms of
Mahomes,
like,
Stafford, in terms of accuracy and just
no.
that bit
See, I'm
like
talking about
that's
arm strength, which is why I was saying if he can stop throwing picks, make better decisions, he has the best arm in the league that he can develop. and stop worrying about fucking trying to be a hero and maybe get the ball to Diggs. Or
Yeah, I mean,
fucking hopefully they can get another fucking receiver out there because Diggs is on double coverage island
like
every game.
we were talking about Diggs, and it's like like you watch someone like D Hop not complain much. I don't really remember Devontae Adams complaining a lot last year. I could just be completely blocking that out and not be and just be
Well,
wrong.
it's just even if you did complain, it's like
But then you got someone
you
like
have Aiden
AB.
O'Connell. There's nothing to complain about.
You got someone like AB. You got someone like Stephon Diggs. And then you got certain receivers that I don't know. I was gonna say worth the complaining, but it's like, yeah, Diggs is good enough for now for that
Yes.
money, I guess. But at the end of the day, like, okay, we talked about this. Dawson Knox could be a potential cut. Jordan Poyer could be a potential cut. Von Miller should absolutely be a cut, but who knows?
Yes.
Tre'Davious White, potential cut. They got a lot of free agents too. They got Micah Hyde, decent numbers, but he's 33 years old. Leonard Floyd, he tied his career total in sacks last year with the Bills. He's 31 years old. Gabe Davis, Shaq Leonard, their safety Taylor Rapp. I mean, they got a lot of holes to plug. They're gonna
Gabe
have a
had
lot of money to spend, but they're gonna have a lot of positions that they need to spend money on.
yes. Gabe had. I think he still has potential. Um, but yeah, uh, they had Dalton Kincaid, who was a rookie last year, who was better than Dawson Knox by a lot. So I think they're good in that department for tight end. I think
Yeah,
they can get rid of Knox and
Knox
be
is
fine.
out of there.
Yeah.
I say maybe.
I think Knox will have a spot somewhere else. He's not terrible,
I
but
mean, maybe keep what you have to on defense, but maybe revamp everything you
there's a
can.
lot of old guys on that defense. I didn't realize.
You could. I mean, maybe they try to revamp as much as their defense as they can.
Yeah.
Keep if you if you have to keep a Jordan Poyer, or if you have to re-sign a Taylor Rapp, it's like, all right, cool. But get your Davis. Bro, he's making way too much money to play 10 games in 2 years. Von
Agreed.
Miller, $23 million. It's over. It's over.
Davis isn't even on the roster.
I mean, at this point, draft a young guy coming off the edge. Draft another receiver to
Yeah.
develop under Diggs. I mean, I don't know. I think they're set with James Cook, which we're going to talk about him in another segment in a little bit. But I think they have a running back in James Cook. Hopefully.
Yes. But yeah, to me, this team, they're, in my opinion, a little similar to the Eagles in that they've got, but the Eagles have a better team.
The Eagles have a better team. They
The
don't.
Eagles have a much better
The
team.
Bills have a better quarterback.
They do.
The
I
Eagles
agree with
have
that.
the Eagles see the Eagles, to me, like, I'd rather be in the Eagles position for the defense where it's like, all right, we got young guys that have potential and we might be losing some older guys. But the Bills are like, all right, we got old guys, we're giving
Old
a lot of
guys.
money and we're losing old guys.
Yeah.
What are we about? Like, what is
Yeah.
going on?
Like, they have 3-star Georgia football players.
Yeah, they're
Jordan
good.
Davis, Jalen Carter, and fucking Nakobe Dean. Like, those guys will be stars. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's tough because the Bills have potential. They're a great team.
every year.
Every year.
Every year.
But with this current team, honestly, they might, in my opinion, they might need to kind of take a throwaway year and
Can you
try to rebuild something.
Risk that? You can't. I don't think.
No, you can because you got Josh Allen, who will be your quarterback for the
Oh.
next 10, 12 years.
10, 12. Relax.
10.
Okay.
These guys are playing until they're fucking 60 now. I don't know.
See, Tom Brady skewed that. I don't know if all quarterbacks are playing until they're 40.
Aaron's old.
Aaron's, yeah, he's doing his thing, but he's on some chakra shit.
Who says Josh won't be? Aaron wasn't when he was younger. I don't know.
We don't know what he was on.
Oh,
I think he was.
do not.
Well,
Don't do those
everybody.
accusations, dude.
Well, no, I was
Don't do
talking
that.
about like draft day. Like, you know, they always show Aaron Rodgers on draft day.
Yeah.
I think he was just like shroomed out. Like, people were talking about like how nervous and upset he was. I think he's just tripping balls in
I don't even think he was.
the
Yeah.
green room.
I mean, he should have gone first, but it's
Sure,
whatever.
but you know, Alex Smith, right? There you go. But
Yeah.
look, no. So it's
But you
just
can say that about a lot of fucking
like
people.
before we like the Bills. I feel like we have a conversation about their defense every year, and then
Yeah.
there was a conversation about about the running back position for the Bills for a little bit, and it seems like James Cook has has silenced that conversation this year. But now
Yes.
it seems like the defense might be in an even worse position.
Yeah. I mean, the defense. I mean, last year they did nothing to bolster their defense. The year before they picked up fucking Von Miller, which was a nothing burger. Um, so yeah, I mean, over the past couple of years, we've seen nothing that would tell us that they can continue to have success
Hmm.
while adding players. I mean, I think they've got a strong enough quarterback and a couple of young guys where they can sort of maybe ditch Diggs.
I think Diggs
It's a
getting
lot of money, dude. If you get Von Miller and Diggs off your payroll, you draft a couple of guys, you pick up some free agents, you're in a good spot.
Diggs getting traded would definitely put a big old question mark on who Josh Allen can rely on at all when he's dropping back.
Like, you're not ditching Diggs without already having somebody.
But the thing is, you're not ditching Diggs to just give Mike Evans a bunch of money. Like they're not
No, I'm not saying
make.
get another guy.
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
saying
if
get
Josh feels
multiple
like. I
guys.
don't know if Josh feels like dealing with guys that are maybe used to being wide receiver 2 or 3s and are now have to step up and be a wide receiver 1. And I don't know. It's
Well,
just
all right, then maybe they keep Diggs, get rid of Vaughn, get rid of some of their older guys on defense, and try to bolster that offense up.
yeah, I,
Because even now, like it's tough for Josh to win games by himself.
So I went through 15 different mock drafts,
Fuck,
and I averaged out the top 5. You
dude.
wanna, you wanna go? You wanna hear? You wanna hear what's up?
Dude, the last time we had a high-ish draft pick that I can remember, I don't really care about Washington sports anymore, or Commanders. But yeah, it was fucking Brandon Sheriff.
I
It
mean,
was good, but we had nothing else
he
to
was
help our team.
he was a
I
good.
would rather take a star receiver, or a star quarterback over a O lineman.
Well, so out of the 15 mock drafts, they had every single pick number 1, Caleb
Yeah,
Williams,
yeah,
going to Chicago, which I mean is obviously the easiest
sure.
pick, but I mean
But draft days can be weird, dude.
you've been sitting here saying Caleb Williams is not going to Chicago.
And I don't think Chicago should. And I don't think that. I mean, if Chicago was smart, they would draft Marvin Harrison.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. So, but before we even get into that, Caleb Williams, all 15 to Chicago. So there was a split. 8
Mm-hmm.
votes,
Drake May.
Jaden.
Okay.
8 votes for Jaden, 7 votes for May. So it was 8 and 7, but it was divided between those two quarterbacks.
Again, dude. I wholeheartedly believe that Marvin Harrison is easily the best player in the draft. And I think if we get him and we pick up Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins, then we're doing okay. Or we can just wait and get draft Drake May if he drops, because he will.
And then
If we don't,
it flips to Drake May, 7 third-round or third pick votes. Jaden,
who's got the third pick? The Pats?
Patriots, yeah.
They're not drafting Drake May.
I think the Patriots are going to draft a quarterback.
Really? They might.
Dude.
I mean, they have to.
I think the Patriots are drafting a quarterback. I don't think they're not. They're either
apparently Bill liked Jaden. But
I
for
don't.
them, it's like for them, anybody, honestly. Honestly, for us, anybody too.
Marvin Harrison had 13 votes for fourth, going to
Yeah,
Arizona.
yeah, that sucks.
Now I'm not gonna lie, bruh. There is a time where maybe receivers could shine in Arizona.
There
It
was,
is
and that
not that
was
time.
what 16 years ago, 15 years ago.
That time is gone. I'm gonna feel really bad if Marvin Harrison ends up a Cardinal because he's definitely
Is
gonna
that
have
is that dummy still the head coach?
yeah, bro. Yeah, bro's over there.
That sucks, dude.
And then a tie, Joe Alt, tackle Joe Alt, and then
Yeah.
Brock Bowers. Chargers either gonna pick up a tackle or pick up a tight end. Um, I'd probably go tackle over tight end if I'm the
Yes.
Chargers. Um,
Uh,
but
well,
Caleb
a
Williams,
tight end would be nice for the way that they run that offense. I mean, if you got you got two deeper threats in
but they got
Mike Will and
they
what's
got
his name?
what's his name? They have a tight end. They have
Do they?
pull his name up while we talk about.
I mean, I don't know if a tackle is going to help fucking Austin.
I mean, I say get a tackle to protect Justin Herbert more than anything. I'm not really thinking of who'd you say Austin Eckler? Austin Eckler is not going to be a Charger next year.
Good.
At least that's what that's my take from everything I've been seeing.
Gerald Everett.
Yeah, no, I think they are much better off rocking with Bro over pick. Which I mean, not saying Brock Bowers is a bad pick, but just getting some protection for Herb. I would go that route. Caleb Williams though, all 15 votes, number one. But I'm confused, like on your, because I was trying to get to it earlier, but then we start talking about other shit. What is your opinion? Do you think they should draft Caleb Williams, but you don't want them to? They should keep Justin Fields. You think they're keeping Justin Fields? Like, what is? Take Marvin
To
Harrison
me,
out of
I
it.
look at it like it's a massive bet to draft. Like, in my opinion, I think it is a enormous bet to draft Caleb Williams because if you draft Caleb Williams, you are now relying on the fact that you can build this team in the next 3 years and build it to a level that is worthy of having the top quarterback in the draft.
See, I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know what pick Justin Fields was, but he was pretty highly regarded at the time.
when you are the first round pick, you are or the first pick in the draft. You're not going to the best team, Devin. So I can't promise you they're going to be a playoff team in the next 2 years.
But here's the thing, like, it's been a while since we've seen a number one pick quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow.
First, yeah, okay.
Like the Bengals and the Jaguars still suck, but Trevor's done well. I don't know. To me, it's like either Caleb's not as good as people think he is, or like he's gonna get dejected and be a terrible quarterback after 3 years in Chicago. I
But I
mean,
mean,
Justin Fields is pick 11.
do you think he's a bigger? You think going with him is truly a bigger gamble than sticking with Justin Fields and
Not
passing
if
up
they.
on the opportunity to draft this supposed, generational talent quarterback? Like I'm like I think I feel like it's more like the Justin Fields era where it just ran its course.
Yeah, but he had nothing the entire time.
And and he's gonna have nothing. But see, what's nothing though? Because at the end of the
Nothing.
day, we're looking at teams right now where shit is.
But all right, we have to remember that Justin was last year, the most recent year, on a team that was tanking to get a high pick.
But that's the thing.
Well, didn't they trade for that pick
if they
from the Panthers?
mhm. If they had that shit set in motion, though, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they I feel like Chicago's probably been pretty set on moving on
Getting
without
something else.
Justin Fields for a while now.
I know, but I don't know. To me, it's like just draft Marvin Harrison and give us Caleb and let us fail with him.
But I do think you guys should draft a quarterback unless you guys make a move for a quarterback free agency wise. If you wanted to get Marvin Harrison, if you do that, sure.
I mean, my
But
thing is like you talk about it a lot how we don't have a horrible offense.
no.
We just had a bad quarterback. Like we have a couple of great receivers. We've
Mm-hmm.
got two decent running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our O line needs some help.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, honestly, not that bad. Chase Young, I've been calling for him to be
Out.
traded. I'm pissed that we didn't get anything better out of him because we should have traded him after his rookie year. But no, I mean, we still have De'Aaron Payne and Jonathan Allen and a couple other guys up there. Our secondary does suck, but I mean, if we draft Marvin Harrison and get a decent quarterback, I think it's better than sticking with a guy we have no idea about, a guy who played in the fucking ACC, and then trying to rebuild over the next fucking 10 years with him. Like, I don't know. I don't see it.
I'd rather y'all pick.
We failed every time we've done that.
I'd rather y'all pick JD over May any day.
Agreed.
And I'd like to see how that would work out and what he could do with the talent y'all have. But there's a high chance that if you end up drafting Marvin Harrison, it's going to be Sam Howell throwing him the football. Or like Jacoby
Yeah, I
Brissett.
mean, I would only want us to draft him if we already have a quarterback.
Something
Which we
set in
don't.
motion. So I
Yeah.
say draft JD, let him work with the weapons y'all have. And I think he can be better than Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but I'm
Hey,
I'm truly afraid
something.
that we will draft.
A tackle.
No, I'd rather that over Drake May.
Y'all, look, at this point,
Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about Drake May.
at this
I don't think I've really seen him play much.
at this point, you're calling for Washington to draft Drake May.
But the last two guys to come out of UNC are Sam Howell and Mitch Trubisky.
There you go.
And I'm not looking for a decent backup quarterback.
Are you
I
sure?
don't want that. I'm not. I mean, the Commanders might be, but
Are you sure? All right. Boom or bust. We've been talking keeper cut,
really,
free agents, but we got boom or bust. So these are players that may be a free agent, may have had a good year last year, may have had a bad year last year, may have had no year last year. And we're going to talk about basically if, next season they're going to be a boom or a bust. First up, we got our guy, Baker Mayfield. Now, here's the thing. If Baker is dropping back relying on like an old Chris Godwin and like that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe not a playoff spot next year.
For me, it's like I think that team hit their potential.
Yes, if they repeat, sure, boom. Like
I have him like borderline bust. He's not near boom.
if Baker has a season that even resembles last year's season without Mike Evans,
that's a boom. That's a big boom.
But yeah, to me, the losing Mike Evans would cushion the blow for a bust because it's like understandable.
For sure. Yes,
but I would say, yeah, like you said, it's borderline bust, but it's like it wouldn't take much for a boom either.
No.
Derrick Henry,
especially if Mike leaves, expectations are through the absolute floor.
Yeah, no, they're at the bottom of. Yeah, no, they're done. How about Derrick Henry?
Bust. Well, it depends on where he goes.
Derrick Henry, I think, as long as it's not Tennessee, is going to pick a team that is, it's going to be beneficial to his health.
Here's my take, though. Yes, he's looking at the Ravens and the Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
ideally. I think that would be great for him. Then you also have to look at the amount of money that he will be paid at 30 years old or 31 or however old he is. And then expect him to have a 20 touchdown, 1,500-yard season, which he hasn't had in a couple years, I don't think.
See, but I mean, that's insinuating that he's only going to play as hard as possible based on the salary that he's getting from the team he's playing for. I think
No, I mean, I'm saying, like, even if, like, I mean, if say you go out and you pay him $20+ million,
nah.
I mean, or 20.
I don't think bro's in the position to need some crazy bag at this point when I feel like I mean, we see him in commercials, we see him doing his shit. I think
But how many players aren't looking for a bag?
players that have other revenues. Uh,
Sure, but I don't know.
I think I would be
I
surprised
mean, what would a boom year be for him?
being a great. I mean, to me, a boom is 1,000 yards, productive season.
Yep.
Possibly, to me, I think it depends on what he wants. I think if he joins if he joins a team like the Ravens, that's Super Bowl expectations. So if
All
he
day.
runs for 950 yards and 6 touchdowns, and we win the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna go, oh, that's a bust year for Derrick Henry. Because if that's
No,
all he had to do to contribute to a team that was already, at that level,
sure.
okay, there you go. Now, if he
Yeah,
goes and signs with a team that has a lot of cap space and just, the worst roster ever,
yeah.
he could put up great numbers, and I guess it'd be a boom in the case of, he had a good year personally.
Yes.
But I think at this point in his career, if I think teams that are in Super Bowl conversations aren't even offering him some crazy bag.
Agreed. That's
So
fair.
you know,
And yeah, his last two seasons he had 1,500 and 13 touchdowns, and then last year had 11 and 12 touchdowns. So I mean, even if it's less than that, and you're not paying him an absurd amount, and he's making a team like the Ravens better, which again, like you've said it, like you guys don't need him. You guys have the best running offense in the league, and hopefully, if you do get him, he is an assistance and helps that offense. But
and then and then if he stays in Tennessee, it's like, okay. I mean, kind of like
that sucks. That would suck.
You said, all right, we know Tampa's potential. If Derrick Henry does the same shit he does, puts up great numbers for Tennessee, and they just suck, it's like, all right, that's his potential in Tennessee. I guess
Yeah.
it's a boom. I guess.
I mean, he's hit his potential. He hit his potential years ago in
So
Tennessee.
let's go
The,
boom.
the Titans hit their potential years ago.
I'll say boom. I'll say boom. What about Calvin Ridley?
Sure. Um,
I think if bro has
hope,
DraftKings, uninstalled,
hopefully,
if he's,
hopefully he has deleted his account.
I think that's a
Um,
boom.
I was yeah. I think on that team, they've got a couple decent receivers around him. I don't know. He didn't do a lot last year. I don't think.
Oh, for the Jags,
Um, did he?
I want to
I think
disagree.
he had some good
I want to
games, but
disagree and say he kind of did his thing, which is why he kind of got his career
oh, never mind.
somewhat resurrected.
Yeah, he had
Going
1,000 yards
yeah, he
and 8 touchdowns.
he did
So
his thing.
yeah, for sure, a boom. I think he's going to settle into that team and
Jacksonville, they're one of
do
them
some damage.
sneaky teams. They're gonna be if they're not.
Well, I mean, they were a sneaky team all year until they started tanking.
They're gonna be sneaky, like, to me, the same way like the Bengals are gonna be. Like, you're gonna have to worry about them no matter how, like, what, like, I don't know. Like, people have their opinions on Trevor Lawrence. People like you have their opinions on Joe Burrow, but it's like at the end of the day, like, you have to watch out. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
teams like that. I think Calvin Ridley is in the perfect spot. I think that's the easiest boom so far.
Yeah, and you know what I'm surprised at?
What's that?
He finished 7th in comeback player of the year. We didn't even talk about him for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, well, it's because there was a guy named Joe Flacco. So
No, it's because he wronged the NFL. They
yeah, yeah,
suspended him for an entire year.
yeah. He did that too. But people love a comeback story. What about J.K. Dobbins?
Bust.
All right, why? And I'm not even saying that as a Ravens fan, and I'm defending. I'm genuinely asking why before I
Because
give my answer.
to me, even if he does come back full strength, I personally would like, and I think that the Ravens notice it, but if Keaton's back in time, Keaton should get a lot of those touches. And honestly, Gus gets the majority of the touches within 10 yards or even closer. Um, I don't know. I mean, JK can still be good, but he hasn't played in 2 years, 3 years. How long? I don't know.
J.K. has definitely been hurt for a while now.
Well, he tore his ACL and then he tore his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Missed 2 full seasons.
If he stays healthy, no matter what team he's on, I think he can pretty much do anything somewhat productive and it would be considered a boom,
Sure.
considering his last 2 seasons and his
Yes.
health problems. But he's not getting a bag from the Ravens.
No.
He's not going to have much trust from other teams. Um, but, if he is healthy, I would say boom. I see
Yeah.
no reason for it to be a bust unless he gets hurt.
Unless he gets
That's the only
which
reasoning for
is
me.
yeah.
Less skill,
But also, I
more
mean,
health.
he's a little bit older,
Who is
and
bro?
some guys
Is
come
he
back better.
25, 26?
No, I know, but you spent 2 years rehabbing,
Yeah,
not playing contact football.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, some guys come back better after big injuries like those two. Some guys come back worse. So I don't know.
What about Chase Young?
Bust. I was like Jamar Chase. I was getting through my
Is this
chases.
just Washington bias, or you truly
No,
feel
he's a
this way?
bust. I mean, he was a bust when he got drafted. He was a bust every year he's played. Um, I mean, there like when I was trying to look up Chase Young highlights, like before the playoffs, there one guy on YouTube was like, "Look how he causes problems and then creates space for Bosa." It's like there's a lot of guys in the league
I mean,
who create
is that
problems
not what
and
Aaron,
who do things, but the guys who sack quarterbacks get paid.
is that not Aaron Donald told like?
Yeah, but he's an interior lineman where he's stopping the
I'll
run.
give it to you. Okay, I'll give it to you.
Chase Young's a D end where his job is to get to a quarterback, and he does that. I wouldn't say poorly, but in terms of him being regarded as he was or is,
Mhm.
he's not up there with any of the great D ends of the league. Maybe he has a better year, but I don't see it.
What about on the flip end, Jadeveon Clowney?
If he's not with the Ravens, that's a bust.
See, that's the thing. He had arguably his best year.
He had one of his best years. I think it was his second best in sacks. Yeah.
I think he tied his career total. That's what.
I think he had 15 in one of his years. I think he had 13 last
Well,
year.
he had a contract clause that if he tied his career total, he got like $1 million. And the
I
last
did see him go
remember when he was
crazy.
celebrating, I think that's what
Yes.
that was. Um, that's the thing.
Still one of the best college football hits of all time.
If he's a Raven, yeah, obviously my bias is going to say it's boom. Here's my thing: if he goes to another team and just is another piece to a defense that maybe is just missing a few pieces, I think that's another boom scenario. The only bust
Maybe a
scenario
Bulls.
is if some team just gives him a Von Miller bag or just something
No one's giving
crazy.
him a Von Miller back.
He had a better. I mean, why not? At this point, we're looking at the way why not?
Yeah.
Would you really be surprised if someone gave him something above 20?
If it was above 20, yes.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Crazier shit happens.
Crazier shit has happened. But yeah, no, he did tie his career high with 9.5 sacks.
That's the thing, bro. It's like Jadeveon Clowney. Like, obviously, I think we came to the conclusion that he's just not the. He's not as good as we thought he was going to be.
Well, I mean, we've seen it's happened to players where they're not talked about a lot, and then something like that hit happens, and now their name's number one.
Well, it's also like you're just somebody that was. But besides that, he was when it came like even before he was drafted, he was hyped to the absolute moon.
No, no, I'm saying he was hyped because of his like fame.
But do you know what Jadeveon Clowney's? You know what type of career arc he has? He's got that Andrew Wiggins career arc. That I came in the league supposed to be a superstar. I obviously failed at doing that. Now I'm a
Yes.
great piece.
Yes.
Now I'm just a cool piece that
Yes.
now I'm not.
I mean, Jadeveon was first overall.
Now I'm not held at that.
Yes.
You know, I'm not put on this pedestal to be that good. So I'm still complimented on what I am able to accomplish, which is
why I don't think he'll get what Von got, because Von once was the best defensive player in the league, arguably.
And I mean, to say like, oh, I tied my career total in sacks, like that's cool, but it was 9.5.
9.5.
So you know, if it was 16, it's like that's great.
But if I'm a team that's missing a decent edge rusher, I mean, and when I watch a lot more Ravens games than I do any other games, just because it's local, but like he made big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Even outside of sacks,
big plays. You know, he definitely he was very impactful for our defense.
So yeah, I mean, for sure, he's a great piece, and like for a team like the Bills or like your team, where a guy getting 9.5 sacks is never a bad thing.
Russell Westbrook fractures his hand.
That sucks.
Awesome, fucking great. Well, hopefully
that might be a season ender.
Hopefully it's not too bad.
Hopefully it's his left hand.
Definitely don't want that. Definitely did not like seeing that news.
Damn, dude.
Let's see. Go through a couple more. Aaron Rodgers.
Boom.
No chance of a bust.
Boom.
No chance.
Dude, if there's one team, like, all right, obviously I want to see the Redskins win the Super Bowl. Obviously I want to see. I don't want to see the Ravens win, but I'd like to see you guys do something with that team.
Fuck off.
But third on that list isn't the Jets. It's A-Rod.
It's Aaron Rodgers. So
it's Aaron.
My thing is, I think Aaron Rodgers, you know, an individual year, he could have a great season.
He could.
It's really gonna come down to how good the team is around him. Now,
I really go. Yeah.
If it's as simple as the team just fell apart because he got hurt right away and they were like, fuck it, and they were super locked in before that, all right, boom.
I think that's easy out, dude. I think that's a really easy out. I think nothing impresses me on that offense that shoots out at me and goes, wow, this team's fucking better than the Packers ever could be. I mean, it's, yes, you have Aaron Rodgers. You fucking bring along Allen Lazard, the guy you had who you couldn't do anything with, who was a great number 2 under Devontae. You brought in Randall Cobb, and now you have, in my opinion, which is hard to do, a worse coach than fucking dick shitter Matt LaFleur.
I just wouldn't be surprised if 3 years down the road we look back on this and last year was the only window, like maybe the window already closed for Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl. If that's the expectations we're giving him.
Yeah, I think right when that happened, they were like, "Get Taylor Swift on the phone immediately."
But I don't think he has to. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to win a Super Bowl next year to be a boom. I wouldn't put.
No. I don't think he has to win a Super Bowl by any means. I think he has to at least play a full quarter. That would be nice. um, because that was
Yeah,
like the most dejecting thing about the NFL last year, and it just ruined the entire season.
James Cook.
Uh, Depending on what that Bills team does, I think he can boom. Um,
We were shitting on the Bills a little bit before, but
yeah.
I will say that if the Bills want to succeed, I say they, take advantage of the great running back they have. And I mean, look, like no matter what the situation is with Stephon Diggs or who they want to have next to him, behind him at wide receiver 2 and 3, or what they're gonna do at tight end.
Who's going to be behind Von Miller? Tell me that.
At, at least at, at at least make sure James Cook is set, and if
Yes.
Josh Allen, like you said, can take care of the ball a little bit better, and you can still have James Cook rushing for 1,000 plus, boom.
Yeah,
And
I
and
mean,
I
hand the ball off to fucking James.
Nico Collins.
Boom.
I think. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's hard to beat this year. That's tough. He had a great year.
the chemistry is obviously there between him
Yeah.
and Stroud. Um, but I have no reason to say like this is what it's a case of like there's no evidence to say
Yeah.
bust.
No.
And this isn't a team thing where we talked about the Texans as a team. They went 10-7, made the playoffs, won a playoff game. So what is considered a boom or bust year for them? I'm not totally sure. But for Nico Collins, if he, you know, it's not going to take like, oh, CJ Stroud misses 3 games and Nico still puts up 100 every game or whatnot. But boom, I think he's.
Yeah, I don't.
For now, there's no reason for me to say bust.
Yeah,
Which
his first 2 years he didn't break 500 yards, but didn't get the ball very much. But his yards per reception is up 3 yards this year.
it's just CJ
Yeah,
coming in made. I mean, it's just
I think yeah. I mean, his catch percentage is up almost 20%. So I think he's getting way better balls. Compared to Davis fucking Mills.
yeah. I mean, bro was getting balls from Davis Mills. I mean,
Yeah,
what are we
like
doing here?
I don't see a reason for Nico, barring injury, to have a bust of a year.
Okay, boom or bust for this next person, and does he have a better year than Nico Puka?
I mean, it's hard to say boom because you got to have a big fucking year to have a like. I mean I'll say boom, but it's hard to have a bigger year than he had.
I think when it comes to numbers, I mean, he doesn't have to match them or
No.
go higher than them, but I think a lot more eyes are going to be on him, possibly even more than Cooper at this point.
Yeah, Puga's the number one. But that's it. Hey, that's a great spot for the Rams because
It
if
is,
Coop's not getting doubled,
but that's the thing. It's like Puka has, numbers wise, it goes down a little bit, but Cooper is a little more open. He's getting a little more action, and he's healthy.
yep.
Um,
Honestly, I think
Puka's a boom for me.
for me, every season for Puka will be a boom. What was he, a fifth rounder?
Matt Stafford's throwing in the ball, yeah.
Well, yeah, Matt's throwing the ball, but I mean, no one fucking knew Puka's name.
No,
I mean, when he was leading the league the first couple of weeks in yards, we're looking at fucking Puka Nakua and fucking Tutu Atwell, guys we've never fucking heard of,
see, but we're not. We
and they're
weren't.
fucking
I mean,
balling.
we weren't talking about Nico before CJ.
We weren't talking about Nico or Tank though.
So I mean, I think at the end of the day, there's debates on quarterback, wide receiver, who's helping who more. I think
Yeah,
I think Puka. To answer the Nico Collins question, I think based on the, and it's just more of a, it's just a shame because Nico has prior years
Yes,
in the league. Now he wasn't playing with a quarterback nowhere near as good as CJ Stroud, but Puka is also, like you said, fifth round pick, rookie
I think
year, comes in, does his thing, but he's got one of the best arms ever thrown to him.
exactly
So
on a one of the better offenses in the league.
does Puka have a better year than Nico Collins? I will say yes. I'll say yeah. I'll say
I
it'll
mean,
be close.
they could have similar years.
It'll be
I don't know.
similar, but I think I won't be surprised if Puka is just the clear number one for the Rams. And to do
Yeah,
that with Cooper on the team, and especially if Cooper's healthy, I think is more impressive than anything Nico does. If they
yeah.
have similar years. Um,
You know I'm older than Puka.
yeah, we're older.
We're older than
We're older
Puka.
than we're older than guys.
No, we're not. No, we're not. He's older than
We're
me.
older
I don't know how
than
to read.
we're older
I don't know how
than
to
a
read.
lot of NBA players.
Yes,
We're
yes,
older
we
than a
are.
lot of.
Which really does suck because we're not old at all.
No, we're not. But I mean, how you think LeBron feels? Bros play with like 10 father son duos.
Yeah, that sucks.
All this shit about
That's
him.
crazy.
Any more boomer
But
busts?
yes,
Two more. I
we're
got two more.
talking about how Tank had some not great years with not great quarterbacks.
Or Nico.
Nico, yes, not Tank.
I got
And
two
then you
more.
look at Terry McLaurin, who's had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons with some of the worst possible quarterbacks you could play with.
See, but if y'all get your hands on Caleb and he has like a bust year, Terry.
That's a problem. But nothing leads me, like, nothing has led us to believe that Terry will have a bad year
Yeah.
because he played with the worst of the worst.
Yeah, that's why he ain't on this list. I don't, there's no reason to. If he's playing with anybody, even considerably better than Sam Howell next year,
But what's his. I want to find out where his ceiling is. Give him a good
If
quarterback.
Terry has Patrick Mahomes throwing to him, he might be the best receiver in the league. We
He
just
could
don't know.
be.
We just don't know. Uh, two more for the boomer bust. Rashad Bateman.
That sucks. That's tough. I mean, depending on how your wide receiver room looks, but if Zay's on that field, and I mean this year, shit, Odell, Aguilar, fucking who else were getting looks before Bateman was.
If
But I think compared to the last couple of seasons that Bateman's had with the injury his first year and what was this his first full year or last year?
I think both. I think last year and this year.
And then the year before that he was injured.
Yes, I can't even see that.
But yeah, no. If we're looking at those 2 years, I think he'll have a boom of a year. I think he can be utilized in that offense. I don't think he's a bad receiver at all.
Look, I think Rashad was supposed to be the guy, the answer. Let me put it into perspective like this: Hollywood was a bust. We pick up Rashad, and he's supposed to be the guy. We pretty much
Hollywood a bust
we pretty much said we pretty much showed our hand when we draft Zay.
for sure.
We said, look, Rashad's not the guy. Rashad, if he can't beat out Nelson Aguilar, if if we even if we bring back Odell, if we sign Mike Evans, if we do anything like this, there's no way. I mean, if the Ravens don't even have faith in him, if he's on the depth chart, wide receiver 4, sure, if he puts up okay numbers, I guess boom for a wide receiver 4 or 5 expectations, but that's not who he was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, he's got 1,100 yards in 34 total games, so 2 full seasons.
Sadly, I'd say bust.
Bust. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna say bust. And if he's
now that after you saying that, it makes more sense. But
and I mean, you got 2 tight ends we're looking at before you. So I mean,
apparently the Ravens are saying that Rashad's going to get the ball a lot more.
yeah. But here's the thing:
And
does that
someone else is saying that Rashad Bateman needs to change his scenery. So
I don't necessarily know if getting Rashad Bateman the ball more is the best thing for the Ravens to do.
no, I think getting Zay the ball
Getting
more.
Zay the ball, having a full
Getting
year of
Mark
Mark the
Andrews
ball,
the
yeah.
ball.
Continuing our, glorious rush attack,
Getting Keaton Mitchell the ball.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about getting Rashad the ball more. And then finally, boom or
No,
bust, Jordan Love.
what, they made the playoffs. They are in the NFC.
Look, Jordan Love, I don't know what it would take. Like, he would, like, it's not even making the playoffs for me. It's like,
I mean, he'll never touch where he's expected to be.
see, that's the thing.
Dude,
Are we
this
talking?
fucking article. Like,
What's the first thing it says when you
the first
look
thing
it
that
up?
pops up, the future of Green Bay Packers and his path to MVP status. Why are we talking about him as an MVP quarterback?
See, that's the
You've
thing.
got 8 other guys in line who can fucking beat MVP next year.
You got a lot more than
8,
8.
fucking 15.
Yeah, I was
I
about
don't
to say
fucking
you got
know.
a lot more
20.
than 8 before I'm thinking of Jordan Love.
Fuck.
If we're looking
I
through
mean, he had a good year, sure.
if we're looking through the lens of like he's supposed to be the next Brett Favre, the next Aaron Rodgers, the next
He won't.
franchise guy, like
But if we expect him to have a decent year like he did last year, then sure, a boom.
what's a franchise guy? Like, okay, he might have better success than what D Watt had in Houston, but I don't know if he touches the success that maybe even Joe Burrow has already touched.
Yeah, no.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
Joe was kind of lucky. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. When he comes back healthy, we'll see. You for some reason
Yeah, we'll see.
you have this hatred towards him, which I don't understand, but
No, but we'll see.
we will see.
It's not going to be great.
I'll say
It's not going to be MVP caliber.
my personal expectations and my personal definition of boom. Jordan Love could be a boom, but if you're
Yeah,
expecting him to be Brett Favre, bust.
yeah.
There's no way.
No, you're not. You're not winning 3 straight MVPs, buddy. I'm
And
sorry.
then you can't go, oh, he's gonna be Aaron Rodgers, and then he barely makes the playoffs, and you're like, look, he made the playoffs.
Look,
That's not.
look.
It's not the
He's
same.
just like Aaron
That's
Rodgers.
not
He
the
keeps
same.
losing in the NFC Championship.
And then the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, Devin. I've been pushing this narrative for a while. I don't think anybody has really pushed back at all. Maybe some people, if they were misinformed. But we got more proof for why Tyreek Hill is just a terrible human being.
Yeah, that stinks.
So I don't know. Have you
I haven't seen anything about him though.
Go ahead and look up Tyreek Hill. As I break it down for you. Break it down. And the reason that's a pun is because he's getting sued for breaking a plus size model's leg. Now here's how the story goes, Devin. Here's how the story goes. Her kid was signed up for a Tyreek Hill camp, and
Yeah.
I guess he was DMing her like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, trying to fuck with her, and flew her down. And they were doing football drills in the backyard, which, okay, I guess. And
Was she trying to sack him?
they were like, he was O-line, she was D-line, and she pushed him back.
Yeah.
She's like 6'1", like she's
Broke her leg in a foot. What is happening,
basically
dude?
was like, all right, my turn, and then breaks her leg. Now look, here's the thing. He
claimed, his attorney claims that the woman tripped over a dog.
Here's the thing. We did a lot of caping for Zay because we didn't know he doesn't have this extensive this bad history of just being.
But we also really didn't get any details.
This is like the 7th bad thing I've seen about Tyreek Hill. This isn't even the first fracture I've heard Tyreek Hill be involved in.
No.
Like
I'm gonna have to look into this one deep because this is wild.
And this is all this whole hypothetical is if it's true. If this is true, it's like we got.
Oh, dude, I thought you were joking.
You think I'm joking?
No, I thought you were joking about the offensive defensive line and she pushed him.
I'm dead ass serious.
I thought that was a joke. I thought we were going with a thing.
No, it's that ridiculous. That it's true. It's true. That's how ridiculous it is. You thought I was joking. I'm dead ass. That is what happened.
Oh, fuck, dude.
It's like at this point, it's like, yeah, he's the cheetah. He's fast. He's good. But bro is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Here's the
yeah.
thing. Like,
I mean, like, talk all that shit you want about, like, Jameis, but I haven't heard shit bad about Jameis since college.
but then you got somebody like John Morant who cannot see the basketball court because of the bullshit he got into. And you just have time and time again more news, more proof
Not even a
of Tyreek
close
Hill.
to a suspension.
And I mean, I don't know the history of Tyreek Hill and if he's even been suspended.
No.
I mean,
But every time something like this happens, he goes on a podcast and makes a joke and tells stories and shit, and then the whole world loves him.
I just want to see, like, has Tyreek Hill ever even been suspended?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, everything.
Kareem Hunt was.
He goddamn right he was, and he didn't break nobody's leg. He didn't break no girl's leg. He just
He just
gave,
kicked a woman in the
he just
ass.
gave her a little push over. But I I don't. Yeah,
It's crazy that we always
so
like
Chiefs
this is like a.
Chiefs suspend Tyreek Hill after audio leaks about alleged child abuse. Oh,
But that was
okay. But see, NFL.
five,
Okay,
6 years ago. Huh?
August. That was in. That was 2019. But then if you look right here, okay, you look right here. Uh, August of 2023, Miami Tyreek Hill won't face NFL suspension, and this was after
He slapped that old guy.
faces action at South Florida Marina where he allegedly slapped an employee of charter boat. Okay, see, it's like, bro, he just, I don't know, bro is a piece of shit. Since he's been in college, he beats his kid. He beats anybody he's dating. He breaks girls' legs when his pride is hurt. He's a piece of shit.
I really want to like read into this because this is.
I mean, all the hate spewed at someone.
And then, like there was a. Apparently, there was a filing for divorce, and then it was revoked. Like he was like, I didn't tell my lawyer to fucking put that through, and then they took it back.
I don't know. I see the hate that someone like AB got in the past.
Yeah.
I see the hate that John Morant got. I see the hate that shit. I shit on Draymond Green. But Draymond Green, when it comes to the end of the day, I don't hear about stuff like this. He might not be the best teammate in the world.
No.
Or the best he might not be the nicest guy on the court, and he might have emotional problems.
Yes.
But we don't hear about shit like it's just I don't know.
He's
My
not
biggest thing is
injuring children or
like I'm less shocked. I'm not really shocked. I'm not really like, oh, I'm more like just all like I'm pre-disappointed because I know the NFL is not going to do shit about it.
they're not going to do a thing.
Because they need the cheetah.
Seemingly, he has great lawyers.
They suspended a guy filming him for his TikTok on the field before Tyreek Hill. You remember the guy,
Yeah, they kicked him out of they took his pass for the entire season.
Yeah, he got more trouble than any trouble Tyreek Hill will probably get in with this whole lawsuit. Which, let's be real, nothing's gonna happen because it's a lawsuit.
Yeah,
it's a lawsuit. Which at the end,
well,
of the
yeah,
day,
she's trying to get money for.
If this wasn't Tyreek Hill and this was a guy with a clean record, we'd be sitting here saying, "Oh, she wants money." So maybe this is the case, but
no, this seems kind of Tyreek Hill-esque.
At this
I mean,
point,
why are you doing football drills with a?
I don't know, bro. I really don't know. But look, we talked Tyreek Hill. We talked Tyreek Hill. We talked the Buffalo Bills. We talked the Raiders. We talked players that are, they're gonna have a boom or bust year next year. Top 5 mock draft. We talked Mecole Hardman. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, I mean, I'm still stuck on this whole football.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, everybody. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you stay tuned. Brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk more NFL, maybe some NBA, maybe if anything happens in the NBA. But for now,
no, that would be nice.
We will be back with more topics, more shit to talk about. with that being said, it has been me. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Plus size models.